What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga, this time in volume 25, the chapters Magic and the Arcana of Invocation, which I imagine is going to be covering Schierke and her incantation / invocation of this this spell to stop the trolls. Last time out we had the first couple chapters of this. We saw Serpico's new magic feather and all its power, which should be pretty damn powerful. I think there's, like I mentioned during when we actually got the powers, it was a much more you see the benefits after a real fight rather than just kind of testing it out. But yeah, some nice scenes of Serpico last episode. I don't think any of the other special kind of weapons are going to be too useful in this situation, but I could very much be wrong there. Isidro's might come in handy during like a real clutch segment or something, but seems like all he's doing really is just running away. He can't really do much here, unfortunately, bless him. But yeah, we had a really funny and awkward segment with the priest. Funny in the way that he's just again just poking holes in belief and in religion, to be honest, and pointing out their flaws and their lack of logistics, but some interesting stuff. Again, it has been about a week since I did read it, so I just need to read myself up on it. Yeah, there he is. Again, calling people fools and imbecile. It's feel like it's quite funny. It's like the point of Twitter people and people that just talk about bad things and people just want to be negative all the time. People that usually say this type of stuff, subconsciously they're kind of saying it about themselves. I feel like a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, that's not always the case, but people like this, again, it's just super ironic, and you see a lot of these type of people that call other people names and insults and such, and in actuality they're actually more akin to those names themselves, just like this guy. Yeah, some nice action scenes last ep. Some more squat eyeballs. Yeah, Farnese done a brilliant job. I've been really loving her so far in this arc. I think the setup in the last arc, where she wasn't my favourite character, and she wasn't my biggest takeaway from that arc, I feel like even though that was the case, it really set her up beautifully for this arc and for her to change. For her to be unsure and be okay about that. As much as people will say they know exactly what they want and where their life's headed and such, no one truly knows. You could die tomorrow, so it's people are very good at hiding that, I guess. But it's just so human, isn't it? Rather than what we saw from her before, and obviously she related quite a lot to this priest. Yeah, they discussed Guts' for a little bit. They didn't really discuss, but the Guts' blade got brought back up again, and the miasma stuff surrounding it. As the priest came up to the top of the building, and Farnese stopped him. He's the same as what she was, the old Farnese, in a different way, but essentially doing the same thing. Yeah, we ended off with a load of trolls. Ended up in the church, on the church, and yeah, we're kind of surrounded now. But this was the ending shot, looking like little gremlins right here. But yeah, let's get right into the first chapter, Magic. Make sure you let me know what you guys do think of these chapters in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys do enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. And let's get right into it. See Guts and Serpico slashing away. Isidro throwing his berries. Hurrah! Oh wow! Oh crap! Didn't know they'd done that actually. They were always really scared of it. I guess this is why. Dude literally got blown from the inside. As, yeah, they cannibalized themselves again. Lovely. That is. I thought I thought we were hearing like an internal dialogue from a troll there. I thought it said that's tasty. The way it's kind of drawn here kind of made it seem like it might be an internal dialogue of a troll. Tasty. That is nasty. Yuck. Are these things really spectres? They reek of shit and blood. I did look up. I didn't do like extensive search or anything, but I looked up a bit more about the interstice the other day, and I understand that a little bit better now as well. To be honest, before it was just kind of a word, a word I didn't really understand. But I think I get the gist of things a little bit more. I was just randomly thinking of the word. Sometimes randomly cool words just pop in my head. Got to look them up a little bit. What gives? They have us pinned in. And they do. Well, I think it'd actually be better if you guys were pinned in. You're actually kind of pinned at the doorway. It's kind of awkward, isn't it? Kind of reminds me a little bit of From Dusk Till Dawn. Really good, really great movie. Probably watched it a bit too young. It's like a fair few movies, but to really appreciate it, the twist and everything. But really enjoyed that. I never know they made a sequel. I have to watch. Look out, lest you be eaten. Tornado. What gives? They have us pinned in. Aye, Lady Farnese. Again, I can't believe I only caught that stuff with the Griffith mask, suit of armor, helmet, right here. Again, let me know if you guys caught that. I feel like probably did. Probably quite a bit quicker than me because, like I've mentioned plenty of times, I'm not the best with kind of visual shape, picture learning and stuff. Picking up on things like that. Casca. Yeah, priority is up there, to be honest. Much as we're trying to save the people down here, priority, and the best way to do that is on the roof, so as well as Casca being up there. You two go. I can handle this alone. Oh wow. He's entrusting the Cedro again with Casca. Love to see that. Even after the events of the last arc. And Serpico as well. Take care of the woman and those inside. Oh. Oh, so you're going up there. So that would be a big thing for Guts to do, to give responsibility again to a Cedro who, again, he didn't really let him down during the last arc, but it kind of felt that way. With Casca getting abducted a couple times. Understood. We leave it to you. Leave a few for me. See, a Cedro, bro. Again, half the time you're running away. Leave some for you. This kid. Slicing through them. I will say they're not the most interesting enemy, if you know what I'm saying. They're not the strongest. They're not. Again, their designs are really awesome, but I feel like in general, like I say, I feel like I've said this a few times. I feel like manga and pictures and books in general with action. Obviously, I just much prefer movies and anime, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I will say that there are some fights and there are some really good ones, of course, but on overall, I'm not as impressed by fight scenes, and especially like some of the earlier volumes in the manga where there was the kind of war stuff going on. It's just one big army versus another big army. I wasn't very impressed by that at all. But I mean, that might just be a me thing, to be honest. As I said, I never read a manga before this because I don't get along too well with them. But this is just like a bit of an outlier. this manga here, bit of a special case. Cleaning up. Again, that's not always the case. There are some awesome. It's not like every action sequence in manga's bad. It's not what I'm saying at all. For the most part, like fights like this where you just know it's like cannon fodder. Probably in anime, there's at least like, even though you know it's like cannon fodder, there's at least like a little bit of smoothness and nice animation. Here it's drawn really nicely, but there's a peak to that, if you know what I'm saying. The peak to how much I'm impressed by this, with there not being a lot of things I love about anime. Bit of a tangent there, apologies. And steaming. A snake. Looking nasty. Because there isn't too many in here. There's a fair few, but ugh. They're here. Move, stupid. I can't get through, you know. Fuck, spiking his back. You would think they'd be quite easy to move out of the way, considering they probably want to go backwards. Maybe they're just frozen. Oh yeah, why don't we just blow them away? Blow these people out of the way. Or Serpico again, just fly. I want to see that by the end of this. Not the end of this arc or anything, but by the end of this story, by the end of Berserk, I want to see Serpico flying. Yeah. Some lovely noises. Wow. Fuck, little stick. Oh. Would you call this a fly? Definitely at least leapt through the air. At least. Yeah, perhaps it's like an enhanced jump. I haven't quite got enough to kind of sustain flight or anything at the minute, but can push himself off the ground. Nice. I think that does very much bode well for the flying. Being able to fly in this universe is incredible. You don't see too many of the demons or anything with wings. There was, of course, Rosine. But other than that, there hasn't been all too many. Apart from God Hand can probably get around quite well also, but not often you see them. Nice job, Serpico. Hey, he definitely seems like he's got the best, the best ability right now, doesn't it? the coolest and most handy. I think we just see an image of Isidro cursing himself. We'll get into it in a sec. Hey, you see that? He just jumped over us. No. He flew. That's my Air Force. Eee. Damn it. Always him. Let's see some of what you guys can do. He's just talking to the little lizards. What are they again? Salamanders. Pretty sure they just all went away right there. They're there, and then they're gone. But it does look like there's a flame coming out. Isidro, please hold the fort for a bit. Why? Yeah, it just kind of looks like they left him. Unlucky. Lovely back shots of the trolls right here. Perky little bums. Proper monkey looking things, aren't they, from the back? Except their head. Kind of remind me of the Gruffalo. A little bit. Any of you guys ever watched or read that? I've never read it, but I watched it as a kid, I think, in school. I accept this. I'm not afraid. Not afraid. You've got to lie to yourself. Oh, you got to lie to yourself. Oh, Casca. Something's happened here. Again, are we wearing the armor that we were given? I expect we are. I'm not sure we've seen what it does yet, though. At all. Or heard anything about it. What is going on with them here? Yeah, firstly, what's going on with the trolls here? But look at Farnese. She's out of it. No! Ah! She's gone crazy. Let's go, Farnese. Is what I'm expecting to see here. You know that scene from again, if you've seen I'm not going to spoil anything actually. Just in case. But yeah, I'm expecting her to just cut these guys into little shreds right here. It looks like they were kind of alerted to Farnese and they're flinching. That's what's gone on here. That is quite the face there, isn't it? Let's go, Farnese. Again, one of the characters I'm really rooting for, maybe the most in this story, in this storyline so far, as well as Guts, of course. Guts is always going to be number one, I feel like. Are they so scared of her though? Is it the armor? Something to do with the armor? She does a really awesome job at fending off these ones and grabbing Casca. That's her responsibility right there. This is another nice bit of development here. She's ready to do the right thing, put her life on the line to protect her responsibilities. Do you imagine her doing this again during the fight with Guts early on in the last arc? She's always been shown to kind of hide away and not really step up. That's really awesome to see this. Like one of the first times we see her do this. Oh. Tiny little dagger, isn't it? Foolishness. Schierke. Again, on the pronunciation of this, I think I did see it was actually German. And I probably should have known this because I used to play FIFA a lot. I hate those games, by the way. I think I started with like 07 or something. Always liked the actual game, but it was essentially just the same game every year, and just an absolute scam to rip money off kids and their parents' bank cards and stuff. So I'd kind of scam them back in a way. I won't say any more than that. I used to love scamming EA back and taking money from them. Again, I won't tell you how or what I'd done, but I used to find probably some what's it called? Some bad enjoyment. I can't find the word for it. But yeah, some nice revenge. Just knowing that they were making billions off kids. I've taken at least a little bit of money back from them. Like I'd buy the game. I think I'll tell you a little bit about it. You could get like I think a 7 or 14 day kind of pass for like £3 or something. But if you cancelled it, you'd get the rest of the day's money back. So I'd end up spending like 20p for the game, and then I'd make a little bit of money during that time, quite substantially more than 20p. But yeah, I'd make some money off that. And when I before that, I'd buy like the discs and then play it for a couple of weeks, make quite a bit of money, then just sell the disc back. But nowadays it's all kind of digital, so and it's easier to scam them. Again, I found some real sadistic. That's the one. Some sadistic enjoyment in that. But on that note, I totally got away from my point. I've read quite a few German names and obviously watched quite a bit of German football. And there's a player Schürrle, who's SCH as well, but URRLE, I think. And obviously that's Schürrle, so I probably should have known that this was Schierke. Quite similar in the way it sounds. Schürrle, Schierke. Schierke is what I was saying. You can understand why I was saying that. It looks like Schierke. Yeah, the German language is actually very difficult. Very difficult. Oh Lord, guide me into your presence. Here's that shot that we see in the start of the volume. I mean, honestly, if you do want to get guided into his presence, yeah, just die. Die here, man. And that's, yeah, what we see. Is this her, like, in the interstice then? Right here? Would you say that? The bonding kind of place between the real world, the human world, and not the world of idea, but the I forget the term now. I'm so crap at the terms. Berserk. So there's the world of idea, the interstices between the human world and whatever's after the world of the astral world. That's the one. So yeah, this is like between the astral world and the human world. Right here, I'm guessing. And I imagine the magic is kind of bringing something out of that into almost like summoning that from the interslice / the astral world into our reality, I guess. Again, I think the more it goes on, the more I do kind of understand it a little bit better every time. So eventually, hopefully, I'll have a good understanding. Whoop. Now I'm out. Man, there's just always more of them. The hell's Schierke doing? She's all talk. Guess this is too much for an apprentice. Now there's just one thing to do. Aren't you still too inexperienced? Dumbass, this is do or die. Goff, goff. It's payback time. Rotten moomin freaks. I did look up moomins. I never knew they were called moomins, but they are cute little. Apparently they're trolls or goblins or something as well. And I don't quite see that, but they're cute as hell. Rotten moomin freaks. Let's go, Cedro. I'm not sure you should not look at your enemy like this, but got to do what you got to do, I guess. Yee. Low. Sharp. Now. Like he just missed. Oh, he got his ear. Done a bit of a Mike Tyson. Got his ear a little bit. Yeah. Oh crap. And now it's in a good position to swing down on him as well. Oh, here's the is that the blade? Is that our new special blade? Oh crap. I'm being swung by the sword. Oh crap. He used too much. And it weighs too much. He put too much force and it weighs too much, so it's actually moving him now. Oh dear. I've always said I've said for a long time now, Isidro, you need to stop using this sword. It's never ended up going well. You've never seen anything good come out of this. Stick to small weapons that fit him. Throwing stuff, small knives, stuff like that. Berries. How horrible would that be? You get to not in this story, but imagine you were like a Sekite and you got sent to a new world after death, and your main ability is berries. Picking up berries from the wild, chucking them at enemies. I think that'd be actually like in a real world instance, that would actually be quite nice, quite soothing. But if you want to be like an action hero or whatever, obviously not. But yeah, the more I think about it, the more it actually sounded less bad and kind of actually quite good. There probably is an anime or manga about that somewhere. Berry picking a Sekai. Well, it was a little bit like Golden Kamuy. They're nice, like a third of it is like cooking segments with berries and making like pies and food and stuff with berries. A third of it's like going out and collecting them, having adventures and fighting, and obviously the story stuff. Might be onto something there. You're kidding? Not in a place like this. Oh fuck! I forget this guy's name. Benson or someone. Wow. Isidro really just almost died right here. That is not a nice weapon to get hit by either. To be fair, I'd rather get hit by that weapon than actually hit by the trolls, bitten by them or whatever. But still a nasty weapon to get hit by. Wow. Samson or something, wasn't it? I can't remember his name. We were dissing this guy for like a whole chapter earlier on to Isidro. Old man! Morgan, that's the one. I knew it was 6 letters. Captain Morgan. Hopefully that doesn't kill him. It might not. Old man! Morgan! Oh, let's go, Morgan. Nice. Oh, that wasn't Morgan. So that was a quick recovery. Hopefully he's not dead. Hey, you guys. Don't make a kid and an old man do it all. He's right. Damn things. Nice job, guys. We're finally fighting back. Seems like we can fight back as well. This guy's done a pretty good job. I just kind of thought they were too powerful. A normal human wouldn't even bother. Old man. Hey. Holy crap. From empty space, land, sea, sky, fire. I call the 4 invisible kings to this place. Where do I go from here? I'm going to go left. Shelter us here at this place. Light for us thy flame of warmth and protection, O blessed King of the East, whose spirit rises over the mountain as a zephyr, and whose golden raiment gleams like the sun. What? I've heard of a zephyr before. That's definitely something to do with like bird/elf things, right? I've heard that term a lot in relation to kind of bird-like creatures. A soft, gentle breeze. West wind. A zephyr is a gentle breeze. Yeah, it's apparently a gentle breeze. I didn't know that. Didn't know that whatsoever. Just do want to read this again though. It's almost like a prayer itself, this, isn't it? It's a ritual which is very similar. O blessed King of the East. King of the East, whose spirit rises over the mountains as a zephyr, and whose golden raiment gleams like the sun. I've got no idea what a raiment is either. Is that right? Ladies clothed in raiment. Oh, it doesn't even. What is this? Giving me a description. Oh, it just says clothing. Some piece of clothing. Just a bit of like an old school kind of cloak thing. That's what I'm guessing. Google not doing the best job of telling me that. Well, probably are, but I'm probably just not picking up on the right things perhaps. But yeah, this is quite the image right here, isn't it? That's almost quite similar as to how I see the Griffith symbol, how that kind of spirals. Yeah, she's melting. Really cool shot of her here. Honestly, I just wish we could see a bit more of it. The shot. And that explains what I was talking about with a hat a couple of episodes ago, why a hat was doing that weird squiggly stuff. But yeah, I guess this is the raiment. It's a very fucking extravagant piece of clothing right here. Looks like a flower. But there is a shape there, isn't there? Looks like a relative of the Peanut Head Puck family. Wow, I do just want to read this one more time. From the empty space, land, sea, sky, and fire. So it looks like she's calling to the elementals. Maybe there's like gods of each elemental or something. I call the 4 invisible kings to this place. Yeah, perhaps there's like kings of each element. Perhaps. Call the 4 invisible kings to this place to shelter us here at this place. Light for us thy flame of warmth and protection. O blessed king of the east. The east wind is usually as a saying I think I've heard quite a bit, so I guess that would fit quite well here. Whose spirit rises over the mountain as a soft wind, a zephyr, and whose golden raiment, I'm just going to say cloak, whose golden cloak gleams like the sun. Quite the image here, isn't it? Quite the image. O blessed king of the west, whose name trembles even the water spirits who caper beneath the waves. Yeah, here's the water one. Very nicely drawn waves right here. Swirling up. Again, doing that kind of interlinking DNA looking stuff. They're all kind of blank faced though, aren't they? I think that's intentional, of course, but there's meaning to that, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just not finding it right now. There's the fire. O blessed king of the south. And it all kind of makes sense. The wind east. What was that north? Didn't actually say. Oh, west. So there's not been a north yet, which is the earth. I think it makes sense the fire would be south, just because I kind of see that as being like hellfire, down. O blessed king of the south, brilliance greater than everlasting flame is thy majesty. This one's got some wild hair. Not got a face, it's just got a wild fire. The long sword. O blessed king of the north, it is for thy rule that all living beings of the earth rejoice. It is for thy rule that all living beings of the earth rejoice. He looks quite a lot like the golem we saw. Big lump. Is that like a halo round his head? Interesting. Interesting she says this as well, isn't it? It is for thy rule that all living beings on the earth rejoice. In all places, may we be protected by the 4 sacred kings. All our woes kept distant from us. Ve, Gepla, Makto, Ateg, Ve, Gedula, Kingadola. Again, it sounds a little bit like the Necronomicon talk. Tato, Galatas. Yeah, it is a bit of a halo. Angel of the Earth. I think this one's my well, it's a tie-up to be honest between the wind one here with this magnificent, all-encompassing kind of cloak, and then the water one here looks fucking sick in this shot. Definitely looks the best in this shot. But again, I do like the figure of that one, right? But look how that water's drawn. That's beautiful, isn't it? That's awesome. We really call some gods down here to help us, man. That's pretty crazy. Makes you wonder what her master can do. Really awesome shot here. Alright. Lady Farnese! And unfortunately, I think that's the end for today, right? Have we got another chapter? Hopefully I've got another chapter, right? Yes, I do. Thank God. I was going to say, that went by super quickly. I don't know why I felt like we've done two there. Look at the sky. Something's happening. Ooh. Okay, let's read some comments before we move into the next chapter. Yep, old man done a good job there. Love that from him. Shame Isidro was a bit silly there, but is what it is. People saying he sacrificed himself. I hope that he's not dead. I'm not sure how long exactly those spikes are. They look pretty long, but hopefully they didn't like pierce his heart or anything. I've got a little bit of hope he might live. So yeah, someone says here, Isidro's weapon's going to be OP as hell when he starts to use it. I don't really see that. I mean, I can understand how that would be the case. It usually is the case for weapons that take a long time to be built up and be used, that they are usually the most overpowered, but it's just like a short knife. Don't get me wrong, depending on how much heat it has, it can pretty much cut through anything, so maybe that's where the OP-ness will come from, but it'll be interesting to see. Again, for me, it seems like Serpico's is the coolest. It's the one I'd want so far. But judging from the gods of each of them, I feel like the water one is probably the best. That's the real one that's like hidden, if you know what I'm saying. Not used by anyone. Yeah. It'll be the longest till we see that one, I imagine. Yeah, good chapter right there. We'll get right into the final one for today, which is the Arcana of Invocation. As everyone looks up to the heavens, we've got actual gods right here. I'm just loving the vibe of this arc. Loving it. Everyone is struck by what the hell's going on right here. Holy crap. Holy crap, this is insane. This is inside? Yeah, I think this is inside the church. Looks like Puck's given him some heals, luckily. So yeah, I think we've got like... It's kind of hard. There's a lot going on here. Like steam and water and wind. I'm not really seeing any earth though. The earth doesn't really function like these does it? But I think this might be earth right here with like a giant pore. might be fire. These wind and water. Water on the right here, wind straight ahead. So I imagine it's just like I said, north would be earth, south would be fire. So no. That's not the case. I feel like the steam is the fire, the water is on the right here, the wind is straight ahead there, and then the earth is on the left here. Just judging from the paw looking thing. Wow, Jesus. The trolls, they're crumbling. What's this lie here? And they're just getting incinerated. Oh crap. Is that not the what would they called it, but the frolicking dress. Oh, what do they call it? Raiment. The raiment. Again, I think I might be inclined to call it the frolicking dress. The wound's closing. Nice, okay, nice, Samson. Now he's going to survive. It's like I've powered up too. Interesting. Maybe that's got something to do with the wind god being here. Or something, perhaps. What is that sound effect? There's no... Oh, Veen. Veen. Is this a magic? Jesus Christ. All of them just like got insta-killed. All of them. Wow. Again, this bodes really well. This bodes super well. And yeah, from what I was talking earlier about Guts entrusting Casca to Serpico and Isidro, that was the case. So it looks like Guts were taking the ones out front, and Serpico and Isidro were helping the ones inside and on the roof. So what I said about Guts there does stand true. Interesting bit of relying. Again, we've seen a lot of that this arc, relying on others. Well, that wasn't even a question before. It wasn't a possibility, and if it was, it wasn't a question. What's happening? Somehow I was in time. What in? Is this something you have done? I told you. I used magic to extend a bulwark around the church. I know I googled what bulwark meant last week, but I totally forget. I think it's like a wall or something, right? As long as this barrier does not vanish from my subconscious, any ethereal, I did get told how to say that, thank you. Any ethereal, I see, I always say ethereal, and it's actually ethereal. Any ethereal beings that would do us harm within its boundaries are expunged. Expunged. Good word. Nah. Cute. Very cute. As long as the barrier does not vanish from my subconscious. How do you control that in your subconscious then? How do you can't control anything in your subconscious really? Well, you can in ways, I guess, but it sounds like a difficult task. Magic? Impossible. I won't admit it. I won't admit the very thing that I've just seen. Such heresy. Fucking stay at this guy. Do you know what? I hope we get to take his hat off, and under his hat is like half of his head missing, half his brain gone. That'd explain a few things. I'm not really sure brains work like that. Serves you right. I'm not really sure what happens. I've seen a few images and videos of people with caved in heads that have had accidents to their heads where it goes like that, and obviously does damage the brain. And I wonder, I've never seen actually how those people function afterwards, but I can't imagine it's near the level that they were functioning beforehand. Serves you right. This four-hued light is the spiritual power of great beings deep within the astral world who love and protect us. It's nice to know there are things in the astral world. I think it's nice, yeah, like I said, it's nice to know there isn't just stuff coming out of there that just wants to kill, like the evil. It's nice to know there are things in there that help us, who love and protect. It has become manifest. It has become manifest in the physical world. Does that sentence make sense? Would it not be easier to say it has manifested in the physical world? Why say it like it has become manifest? Maybe I'm missing something here, but it has become manifest in the physical world. See, I think this is like a combination right here. Those great beings are the four cardinal guardian angels written of in your holy scriptures. Okay. Are the four cardinal guardian angels written of in your holy scriptures? Whatever different words you use to express them, the sun is the sun, light is light. The mantras chanted may differ, but are not souls in want of salvation all the same? To divide and oppress people because of those differences is folly. God's name belongs only to God. It is not for man to conduct. Okay, put him in his place, Schierke. Put him in his place, man. Whatever different, I do want to read that again. Saying that a little bit this episode, apologies. Whatever different words you use to express them, the sun is the sun and light is light. The mantras chanted may differ, but are not souls in want of salvation all the same? I think when she says the mantras chanted may differ, is meaning like her incantations, her invocation, and the prayer that religions pray on. One would be called heresy and one would be called holy, but essentially they're the same thing. So who are you to discriminate and oppress because of that? To divide and oppress people because of those differences is folly. God's name belongs only to God. It is not for man to conduct. Who are you to punish? Surely if God is real, he will bring divine punishment upon those who forsake his name. But why? Our mantras do not have this kind of power. They do not call forth miracles like your spell. A church is a sanctuary where people communicate with angels or spirits. A magician constructs this sanctuary within her own mind. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. She's got her own sanctuary. where she speaks to them. Yeah, I can envision that pretty well. Obviously, we could just take what we saw earlier and envision that nicely. I feel like that's really good writing there. But to show that and then have this, it probably just makes logical sense to a lot of people. But I don't know. I'm quite impressed by the fact that it's created that image super well in my head. As I've said a lot, I'm not the best kind of imagery learner or anything, so I'm always quite impressed when I can get something quite easily like that. Within her mind, spirit is not of this mortal body, but exists within the spiritual world, right? As for those who exist as ideas, the mind is all with which we can perceive them. And that is an interesting way of looking at belief, isn't it? And can be kind of compared with like religion in our world and stuff. Maybe a lot of these religions are right and correct in what they say, and there is these gods and these spirits and such. But again, they can't exist in our world. They have no human bodies, or they're just stuck in, again, the astral world where it's in your mind and you've got to believe. As for those who exist as ideas, maybe I've always kind of thought of this. Maybe there's like enough humans do believe in something. Perhaps that belief does actually kind of create something somewhere in their mind, in like an existence not that we can experience. Perhaps somewhere those ideas and beliefs that people do have actually have created like a god or something somewhere, some kind of existence. Like they've brought about that themselves. Perhaps it existed before. But yeah, it's interesting. As for those who exist as ideas, the mind is all with which we can perceive them. Regarding magic, the user must always consciously envision the figure of the spirit to be addressed, distinctly enough to perceive it literally. So I'm guessing that's why a lot of the gods didn't have faces or anything. That was her envision of them. The user must always consciously envision the figure of the spirit to be addressed, distinctly enough to perceive it literally. It is not an attempt to believe in something one cannot see. So long, it is not an attempt to believe in something one cannot see. So long as there is no margin of doubt, one can see, feel, fully perceive it. That's the issue though, isn't it? And no margin of doubt. Surely there's always a margin of doubt. Maybe not for a witch, but for an Isidro, a Serpico, a Guts. Maybe not a Guts, to be fair. I feel like Guts actually wouldn't have a problem with that. But I feel that's the issue with a lot of people, probably. Probably a lot of the religious people that we see with this guy. Everyone has a bit of doubt somewhere in them. Even for their own religion that they've been following for 20, 30, 40 years. They still have that margin of doubt. Spiritual perception? Can this truly be? Yes, humanity is capable of this. To sense and be sensed, feel and to be felt, by those not of this world. Nice little shot there. Magic. No. The Arcana of Invocation. It is not simply, the Arcana of Invocation is not about simply chanting mantras or meditating intently on your own wishes. It begins with recognizing and confronting the counterpart to whom you must impart your thoughts. But then, at the same time, there are also great dangers involved. So there are still quite a few of these guys left. Looks like they can't enter this light. Oh, so they're on the outside of the barrier. Okay. I'm guessing these are like the blood and parts of the trolls before that are burning off because of this barrier. Unlucky. I feel like we should do some Fortnite dances on them. As much as I'm really not impressed by the younger generation nowadays being so teasing and like that, and being so obnoxious. Again, there's always exceptions, but being like obnoxious with these like Fortnite dances, I do find that stuff very funny when it's not happening to when it's not happening to me or anything. Luckily, it's never happened to me, but I imagine at some point I'm gonna like walk down the street and some kid's just gonna like Fortnite play dance on me or something, or like slip over or whatever. That's one hell of a girl up there. I'm glad you recognise that, Guts. It is one hell of a girl up there, isn't it? Really is. And it makes it sound like she's like almost a negotiator in a way. The way she recognises and confronts and encounters these spirits and things in the astral world. So it's a lot different than I expected it to be. I really like it. It's one hell of a girl up there. Boom. Go. You can just imagine it sound like a pigsty, an overcrowded pigsty. What is going? Is this like the fucking king of trolls right here or something? What the hell? What's that? You see this giant leg here, it looks like. But what this? I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. A belly. And then a big old hand. With a horn. What the fuck is that? Excuse me? What the fuck is that? Bush. Holy crap. You know, I like the fact that they're now doing these splits so I can just kind of put them together in my thumbnails. I have to do a little bit of editing, but it's really not that hard. All I do is put a little bit of like spray. I only ever really use paint. A little bit of like spray stuff in between, and it kind of matches up and it looks pretty seamless, especially from a YouTube thumbnail where you can't zoom in. Yeah, this is one ugly fucker. One ugly fucker. My God. What is this design? Like horrible steaming nose at the top, right on top of the head, and almost like this horrible like. Yeah, I'm actually not gonna say what I think that looks like. Just a random ear here, but just the shape of this thing. Is this like the King of Trolls? Doesn't, I mean, it's got the same technical things and it's got some similarities, but it doesn't look that much like the rest of them, does it? Not that it has to. Oh, again, I really like how disgusting the textures are on this thing. It's quite gross. The hand as well, the texture on the hand right there. So it's had quite a bit of action. It's got a few scars. I think we do see some more here as well. Oh, I've never heard of this. I haven't heard of this till now. I've got to imagine all these little trolls are its offspring. It's disgusting to think about. More. What's this thing? What is that? Hey! Monster? The troll's daddy. Yeah. That's my thoughts exactly, Puck. My thoughts exactly. Let's see if this barrier can hold him out. What's that monster? Oh, this is an ogre. Okay. Ogre! It looks like that's been sent to these three. Ogre? Oh wow, she almost actually said a word. Do you know what? Cascad's been getting slightly better with that stuff, hasn't she? And making different noises and sounds similar to words. But that's quite interesting to think about now, actually, isn't it? Now that Schierke can send words into Casca's head, that could mean that Casca could learn a lot quicker. But I'm not sure she's learning at all, actually. You'd hope that she was. But she could learn now, with Schierke's help. She could be a person again, perhaps. But Ogre. Why is such a thing in the physical world? Boom, boom. Yeah, really awful. Awful design in a good way. Horrible looking thing. Horrible looking thing. Got the same hairy legs though, hasn't it? What does his mother look like? Not its mother, but what does his partner look like? Ugh. Eee. Lovely shot here. Bit of man boob. That's got a tail. Not sure any of the other. Not sure any of these guys got tails, have they? Oh, they do. Didn't notice that. Little tails. Fucking ogre. So it looks like it's pressing up against this barrier. Ooh, and it's getting hit hard. And it's getting hit hard. Far out. Oh? It's alright. A mere ogre cannot pass through this barrier. Okay, cool. Cool. a mere ogre. However, it can throw stuff in. Pretty dumb, huh? Oh no! Bomb. And what a horrible shot this is. Oh, so nasty. As we throw a pillar into the church. Yeah. I think it's time to step up, my dude. He hasn't done much so far, so of course this situation's right from the off is calling out for guts. This is like the moment in a game where you control the whole crew with everyone else, and then it gets to the final boss, and then you switch to the main character to take on the final boss. You play as the side cast the whole mission, but right at the end you have to switch to the main character. Going on? The barrier is effective against ethereal bodies, but it has no effect on physical objects. Oh, swell. Say what? I mean, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Another cool shot here, and that is where we are ending off today, but another cool shot here. Like I said, the texture, just the disgustingness of this creature is really awesome, isn't it? Steam blowing out of his head, nose. But yeah, really cool couple chapters today. We'll read some comments, then we'll finish off. It is actually reasonably smart, isn't it? The fact that it decided to throw something rather than just try and go in again, hit itself. Not too much in the way of comments. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, some really cool stuff today, some nice action sequences. Like I said, I might actually much prefer stuff like this, like an introduction of like one really awesome monster, rather than a fight versus a load of like ants, essentially. Obviously they're not ants, they're much more dangerous than that, but it just kind of feels that way, if you know what I'm saying. As much as they were really awesomely designed and really well done right at the start, the trolls, obviously the more it goes on, the same with any kind of enemy type, like in games where you have the same enemy type the whole game, it does get a little bit stale. Again, I wouldn't go as far as to say stale, but this, again, I see it just as like I see with the fights between the armies at the start, it just gets a little bit kind of not as interesting, in my opinion. Because they've done the really cool shots, you've seen all the really cool shots and motions of them. And now it just comes down to the point of just wiping them out. All you see is scenes of guts just swiping through them. And there's some great gore moments in there, but other than that, there's not too much to kind of take out of it. But I really like this right here, this introduction of this giant ogre. Again, really awesome design. Love that design. It's slightly goofy, but it's much more disgusting than it is goofy. But I do love a bit of goof in my horror. But yeah, really interesting stuff with Schierke. Schierke today as well. I'm always going to be questioning myself now about his pronunciations. Yeah, some really interesting stuff with her talking about bringing in the astral kind of beings, using their protection here. And again, makes total sense. It wouldn't be able to block human objects and kind of material stuff, but some really interesting stuff learnt here about how it kind of how this magic actually works, how it gets brought into this world. It makes you question quite a few of the events of the past as well, doesn't it? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you let me know what you guys thought about these chapters down in the comment section. I will just have a little look quickly what next chapters we've got next episode. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions though. I'll be back next time with Evil Horde parts 1 and 2. So see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.